Today's unboxing is quite a few actually. These are board books and picture books out for sale starting June 9th, 2020. They are distributed by Penguin Random House, but I believe they are by Candlewick Press and perhaps also by their imprint, Nosy Press. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so, I'm going to pair the ones that are similar. So we have a pair of the very, very popular series, Going on a Bear Hunt. And now these are two books that are board books that are specific to numbers, 1, 2, 3, that are interactive with this like finger trail. And also the same finger trail concept for the letters of the alphabet. So it's tactile, so I don't know if you can see. I will try to show you. These are die cut, so there's you can feel the difference in texture and in color, and then there's indication of how you're supposed to make the number. And so this is really great pre-literacy, teaching kids how to write and also just to learn the letter by tracing it, but you're tracing it in the particular pattern of how you would actually also write it. And so there's a story that's very similar to the premise of Going on a Bear Hunt, so like a search, and you're seeing familiar objects. But the main thing is for kids to kind of have this tactile experience. And it's almost like that, is that Norton Bellingham, where it's a very physical way of learning. But I think for any kids, this physical way of learning helps that type of literacy stick, which is recognizing numbers and letters, and then also being able to start the process of learning how to write it and recognize it and know what that means. So I have another pair of board books, and these are by Nosy Crow, which is the imprint. And this is a Lift the Flap series. And so these two, Forest and Safari, so kind of about different like ecosystem environments. And here we have flaps. So we're learning about animals here in a forest. And it has a very sort of playful, graphic illustration style. Yeah, so everything it flaps out, and it's not like the thickest book pages either, which I like. I mean, it's definitely sturdy and strong, but it isn't like those very kind of thick pages, so it makes it a little bit lighter for tiny hands. And the same with Safari, the same illustration style, same amount of text. It's very similar type of flaps and foldouts. And here we're also learning about, I guess, what the names are for groups of animals. So these books are for ages 0 to 3 as well for the other two. And I have my third and final board book, but I also have two picture books. And this is Hello Elephant, Full of Flaps and Facts by Sam Boughton. And I have to say, wow, what a great cover. Just love the kind of collage illustration style. It looks very fun and playful. And then if you can see in the crook of the elephant's trunk is the character. So it's not just animals, but there's definitely a character, and like kind of very fun, playful font for the words, and just like kind of playful text to teach, but also to entertain. So herbivore here for the rhinoceros, using comedy, obviously, but also teaching. So I would say a nonfiction book that is like, sort of really up on the scale of entertainment. So it's super engaging and fun. All right, guys, that looks fantastic. The next one is this picture book Joy by Yasmeen Ismail, illustrated by Jenni Desmond, with this cat and a ball of yarn. And very simple color scheme, but like so arresting, isn't it? Like it makes you like see a story and follow, kind of action I think that's a really powerful cover, and I like the restraint of not a lot of colors to tell the story. So let's see if that's what they do throughout. What I really like about Candlewick Press is they just do such beautiful picture books, like pushing the boundaries of design, and I don't know, every book just feels like it's made with a lot of love, with like an insane amount of attention to detail, and also a willingness to take risks to show something that isn't always the same, that you see, like not always the same style of illustration, but always sort of pushed in that style to make impact, you know. And that's, to me, Candlewick Press is one of my favorite because you just see so much personality put into the book, so much love by not just the author and illustrator, but like the whole team behind it, and not just the editors, but like the graphic designer, and you know, all the other people who work on the book. And so anyway, this is a story about feeling and playing, a lot of action, a rhythmic read aloud of playfulness, but it's not limited to that ball of yarn, but just like, here's a kitten in a great mood, being playful, and just kind of having fun. So that looks like a very joyful book indeed. And it's interesting too because the author is an illustrator and an animator, but here we actually have also another author and illustrator doing this book. And this illustrator is pretty mega. She won the Maurice Sendak Fellowship, and as we can see, she's just wildly talented. And so the last one, quickly, Play Day, School Day by Toni. I don't think that's July, I think it's Yuly. And again, I like how the title plays back to the colors. It's just a very balanced color scheme. It's simple, but it's not completely symmetrical, and it's just, you know. Well, let's see. So this is a story about going back to school, which is coming up soon. And being excited. This is sort of being excited to go back to school. I think a lot of kids might feel that way, being, you know, missing, you know, the classroom and the teacher face to face. And so it's definitely like maybe like going back to preschool or going back to kindergarten or first grade. It's going back, all the things that you miss about school. So I feel like that's actually a timely message. And wait, learning message. So not necessarily preschool or kindergarten, but maybe even, you know, a little bit older as well. And so that's a really positive message to reminisce and, I guess, mentally prepare for back to school. And in this case, for a lot of us, back to school may mean something different. And so this will be a good book to use to talk about going back to school. What did that mean before? Especially when we have more information. What will that mean going forward? And wow, aren't there great things to look forward to when you go back to school, coming up in a few months. And so Toni Yuly, author, illustrator of these books. This is the first book that I know of her, though. She lives in Washington, and yes, Candlewick Press. So thank you all for watching. And again, these titles are out June 9th.